Good evening, everybody. This is the late night news presented by Gokhshtein Media. This is Meme Coin Maxi, otherwise known as David Lasertag Gokhshtein, with us here. My name's Turd Ferguson, aka Ross Macdonald. Here's the news tonight. Thank you for stopping by. David, how's the day been? Good? Ready for some news? Dive in. Monday, August 15th. Here's the news today. Big news, I thought. Celsius Network reports a balance gap of $2.85 billion.
That's a horrible thing.
The details there are that they've lost 62,000 Bitcoin. They're supposed to have over 100,000 Bitcoin. They've only got 37. I am going to say people there have been pocketing it. Right in the pockets.
No doubt.
It's all on the blockchain, though. So guess what? You take in, what's the company's name that works with the FBI that does investigations?
Chain analysis?
Chainalysis. Those guys have the software. They go in there and they will press one button and they will say, this is where all the funds went. I love that. That is hilarious. I mean, like, it's on chain. So like wherever it's gone, they'll see it. Oh, you got your Iron Man Tony Stark moves going on there. Are you surprised to hear of such a massive loss of Bitcoin?
Yeah, this is becoming a shit show. This is like days of our lives as the days move forward. Like, so this new shit that comes out.
I went out for brunch with a friend in Toronto before we came back from Futurist, and he was telling me all kinds of things about how these companies are forced to operate, and they can't just run their businesses normally as, OTC sales for crypto, lending, everything. They have to leverage and make as much profit as possible, or they won't be in business. So they all force each other to do this. Then they're overextended, and then this happens. And it's capitalism gone nuts.
Yeah, this is it's a shit show. It's really sad for the people that trusted Alex and company with their assets, and then they go in and you had reports earlier in the month, or I think it was a month or two ago, where Sam from FTX, he wanted to buy Celsius, but then he saw it was stated as rumor, but he saw a $1.2 billion hole in the balance sheet, and then now the revelation is 2.85 billion. So, I mean, those rumors were actually fact, and it's just pretty sad. It's sad for the people that went in. Honestly, it's sad. It really is sad. And I don't know how many times you can say it to the audience that, hey guys, not your keys, not your crypto. Like, how many times can you actually really repeat this message and people continue just to ignore it, and they chase, just a few pennies? I mean, is it really worth? If you went ahead and put $350,000 into Celsius, and you're getting, let's say, a $36,000 return at the end of the year, is it really worth it? Like, is $36,000 really worth it? It is money, but is it really worth giving up your
risk?
keys?
That risk is too high, way too high. Anything long term, on a long enough timeline, and you don't have the keys on a long enough timeline, you will lose your money.
That's crazy. Just crazy.
Anyways, on to the next news. Charles Schwab launches a crypto exposure ETF. There's an article up here on gokhshteinmedia.com, and another large financial institution giving exposure to the general public. So this is interesting because as this keeps happening, everyone says there's only 21 million Bitcoin. But if you create an ETF like this, and people will get to trade against the value of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as they're made available like this. Are there really only 21 million Bitcoin? Not if Wall Street has anything to say about it.
No, it's we talked about this so many times that once the institutions come in, as you see here, and the Black Rocks, they will go ahead and start. The derivatives come into play, and Bitcoin goes from 21 million to 250 million. When I say 250 million, it's with derivatives, and now people are thinking they're actually buying Bitcoin when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Pass that drink. I don't drink. I don't drink. I only drink water.
Your loss.
At this point, what did you say? Mouthwash?
Your loss. It's your loss.
My loss. I gotta tell you, man. I guarantee you, and some people are fucking drinking right now after listening to the Celsius news. But
can you imagine? Like, if your money's locked up there and you just keep hearing this stuff, it's just getting worse and worse. What can you do? You just wait, I guess.
But you know what? I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say this, Ross. Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Citadel, all these sons of bitches that are coming in. You guys had your opportunity. You had your opportunity to get into Bitcoin. You can't cry. Like, what? They are going to go ahead and push this market. Make no doubts about it. There are people that their clients are pushing to get into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay, they want to get into Bitcoin. They will get their clients into Bitcoin, whether it's through actually acquiring Bitcoin, like BlackRock has done with Coinbase, where there's an on-ramp, or derivatives. Here you go, guys. And people will actually think they own Bitcoin, and they don't.
I heard a really good assessment the other day when to buy and sell Bitcoin. Now, most people will dollar cost average and just hodl. That's the safest thing to do. But if you trade, if you're a swing trader, if you take on higher risk, when your no-coiner friends say, "Oh, I heard Bitcoin went down. Sorry to hear that," that's when you buy. And when those same friends say, "Hey, can I get into some Bitcoin?" that's when you sell. Yeah. Opposite thinking to what most people do.
I think the people that like to use or abuse people that have Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever other digital or crypto asset that you hold, we're still early.
Yeah,
we can use that. We're still early. You know
Absolutely.
what? From one side of it though, I don't like Bitcoin maxis or the toxicity maxis, whatever they fucking call themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing's for sure, I'll take this away from them, and I'll say it in a nicer fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You will get into cryptocurrency one way or another. It's just going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It will happen. You eventually will realize, like, okay, this is an asset class that I need to be in.
Yeah, 100%. NFTs.com sells for $15 million. That's not surprising at all to me.
I think that's cheap.
Yeah.
That's actually $15 million for NFTs.com. Like, that's cheap. The thing is probably, I guarantee you, this thing is going to be worth like over 100 million.
Yeah. They'll look at the potential revenue from that. They don't even have to have NFTs. They can just partner with every other platform and just have something tied into the website, and they'll make that back in no time. Maybe not now. Next year, massive profit.
Listen, look how well those NFT handles did. Twitter.com when you had the @NFT, and then you had the same thing with Instagram when you had @NFT. I mean, ridiculous,
unreal.
I actually had that interview with the founder. You can check it out on Gokhshtein Unfiltered, episode 6.
Mm-hmm. Unreal. All right, next in the news, Bitco reacts to receipt of Galaxy Digital's notice of merger termination. So Galaxy Digital has said, no, we're terminating this. Sounds like it's for breach of contract, which is probably one of the easier ways to break a contract, but you have to have your ducks lined up to do that legally. BitGo is saying, nope, we're suing you because, let's see here, because BitGo does not want to pay the $100 million reverse break fee. They're saying that Galaxy Digital did not go about this the right way. So this is obviously Galaxy Digital is tied to Mike Novogratz.
Yeah.
And this is going to get nasty. This is going to take a while, I think.
I think Novogratz has enough money to go ahead and, play this game. I don't know. I think if BitGo has the money, just give that 100 million to them and just walk away, man.
The legal fees would be way more.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about if this takes what 3, 4, 5 years to settle out, you're gonna be paying way more than 100. Even if you come close, even if you spend 80 million, it's still.
Well, BitGo is the one that has to pay that, so they're saying no, and that's why they sued them. So nasty stuff with merger terminations. This is why blockchain lawyers and lawyers in general who can support the industry and get to know it, they are going to be so busy in the next few years. You get a lot of lawyers who just jump in head first. They don't know anything about how the industry operates, but I guess you got to start somewhere.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Like, do we have any positive news? Oh my, here's another positive.
Not yet, but we're going to finish with one. How about that? So CZ posted, the Red Alarm platform has flagged 50 projects as potential scams and rug pulls. So they assessed 3,300 contracts, and 50 of them, they said, nope, these ones suck, which is great. We should have more assessments like that. But how do they even get in the first place? How do they get approved? I guess, anyone can launch on BNB, but do they have a responsibility or a liability for that? How could they possibly keep up if projects can just be, onboarded so quickly?
You can't. You have a contract being created every 5 minutes by some dude or that person that literally has convinced the community that they're a developer when they're not. Seriously, like, it takes what? How much money is it to create a smart contract? $300, $400. Somebody goes in and creates one, and now they're a developer. They have put the dev name next. Dev, is next to their name, and yet they have absolutely no clue what C++ is. Literally none, zero. It's just it's pretty sad, man. Oh my God, you're not gonna stop these contracts from being created, but you can. You guys want a free market. This is what happens in a free market.
Do you think there should be regulation that controls this sort of thing, or would that?
Here's regulation. You want me to give you regulation, Ross?
Yeah.
Don't buy it.
Yeah. If the public was educated enough to say, look, you don't buy anything unless the liquidity is locked, or you're doing enough 24-hour volume, or it gets to a certain size. But how does it get there then?
But can you explain to me who regulation is for? Who is regulation for? I still can't get a...
They say it's for the public, but it's not. It's not. It's for governments to control purchasing power. That's what it's for.
So tell me why do we want regulation? I don't understand that. I'm still trying to find this answer of, like, yo, we need regulation. We need regulation. Like, well, for who? Is it for us? Does it protect us?
Well, it's like trying to stop a leak by catching all the water. No, you got to go to the source, which is education. But it's too daunting of a task right now. We do it, but most people don't want it. You get the phone call from someone, from a friend, and they say, hey, should I invest in this? And it's like, well, what do you know about the industry? Nothing. There's the problem.
Listen, they don't want to listen. All these people that want to know things, they really don't want to know anything until they get burnt.
Which, that's fine. You either lose money or you learn on the way to profit.
I mean, let me ask you this question, Ross, because I'm not the smartest person in the room, as I always say. Let me ask you this. Somebody goes into a casino. 22-year-old person goes into a casino. He loses all his money. He leaves with a Corona.
Yeah.
There's regulation for casinos, right?
Yeah, but not for him.
Not for him, right? So how's he protected? A 22-year-old child, basically. Because
He's
to
not.
me, somebody who's 22 years old is still a child.
Yeah.
Goes in there, loses their. I'm talking about 30 grand. Entire savings account. They went ahead and saved up for the last 5-6 years. Lose it
Yeah.
right plain.
Yeah.
They
That's
get
deemed.
they get a
That's
corona.
deemed as that's entertainment that he's doing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. You know what it is? It's the government gets a slice of that, so it's okay.
Yeah. Tiny casino down the road from me. Tiny. They make $1 million a day profit. That's crazy.
What would you rather people do? Learn about economics and finances, or send them into the casino?
You want them to learn, but that's not what society wants them to do. So
Which part is this, which part? The 1%.
that's right.
Yeah, I know you hear me harping a lot. All you people hear me harping a lot on the 1%, but it's the truth. Like it is the truth. Go ahead and do a deep dive. See how the 1% really wants you to win.
Exactly. Positive news. Ethereum merge, quote unquote, trends on Google. Right after Vitalik spoke at Blockchain Futurist in Toronto. He always speaks there. And every time he speaks there, something very, very important happens. Now, this is spiking because everyone's reading about this. He fed a lot of information about how the merge would affect things. For those that don't know, Ethereum's changing from proof of work mining to proof of stake. There is all kinds of different uses of Ethereum with different speeds of transactions, bringing the costs way down. People said that wasn't going to happen, and it will. We don't know when it's going to happen, but this trending, this is great. People want to learn. They'll have to learn. There's no option other than to just research this right now because things are slowly happening.
A lot of people are sleeping on Ethereum. And you know what I think it is? I'm going to tell you this right now. I think people are sleeping on Ethereum for this fact.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in Bitcoin, big time. I believe in Bitcoin. We all believe in Bitcoin. I think we can all say that, Bitcoin, it does separate itself.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to believe that Ethereum can actually flip Bitcoin. People are scared of that notion because there's a lot of people holding Bitcoin, including myself.
Yeah.
That like, if Ethereum flips Bitcoin, like I was talking to a guest today that was on my podcast and literally believes that Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin. Everybody that I've been talking to for the last 3 months, I hear the chance of the flipping is happening more and more and more. I've never heard it like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of all this stuff that's being created on top of Ethereum. It's all about this ecosystem that's been created within Ethereum. People, I'm hearing for the first time people say it's digital cash on Ethereum. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
I never heard people say digital cash with Ethereum.
Well, if you can use it as for transactions with low gas fees, then that could work. And that's exactly what Vitalik talked about last Wednesday when he was breaking that down. He said when Bitcoin came out, it was designed as peer-to-peer cash system. And if Bitcoin got away from that, Ethereum got away from that because they blew up, so it had to get fixed. Now, Bitcoin won't get fixed unless people are using the Lightning Network, which it's growing, but it's not getting global adoption. No. If Ethereum fixes its transaction fees and they get extremely low, that flipping will happen. You know what? I'll do some analysis on how the flipping would happen mathematically, and I'll share that on Friday on the weekly wrap-up.
I think, honestly, I'm going to say something that might disappoint a lot of people. It doesn't mean that I'm going to actually get rid of my Bitcoin bags, but I think the flipping will happen. It's just because, you know what it is? The people want to see it happen. It's not that I'm going to be neutral. I don't want to see anything happen. I'd like to see Bitcoin continue to move and continue to dominate in terms of opening up people's eyes and getting people woke to the fact that the monetary system is broken. But Ethereum, with the way and like the ecosystem that they built, the passion that the people have for Ethereum, that, like you said, if the gas fees are stay at where they are right now, like what are they, like 50 cents or like $1 or some crap like that?
A couple bucks, sometimes 30 cents, depends.
You'll see how quick people will flip Bitcoin to Ethereum. The maxis won't.
It's all about use case, though. People don't have to use Ethereum as a store of value. It's completely different use cases. That's the whole thing.
That is a good conversation to have with the Bitcoin maxi, so they can finally understand that in some way that Ethereum does not compete with Bitcoin. I never believed that Ethereum competes with Bitcoin.
But you get into that discussion where they want to sort of win the argument to say that Bitcoin's better, and it's like nobody's trying to argue that Bitcoin isn't awesome.
And that's the whole thing. Nobody ever, if you ever hear a conversation, at least in my rooms, like you never will hear somebody say, or at least I won't say, that Bitcoin or that Ethereum or something else is better than Bitcoin. I won't, because it's not. It's fact that there's nothing that's better than Bitcoin as we currently speak. But the way that the narrative is taught, you will get people to leave Bitcoin. There are developers that have been working on Bitcoin for the last 10 to 11 years that are leaving Bitcoin. Okay?
A lot of development.
Or there's one, his name is Matt, and I forgot his name. It starts with a C. He literally came out and said the toxicity is not helping Bitcoin. It is going to drive people away from Bitcoin. He goes, at a certain point, you needed it. At this point, it's not necessary and it's gone way left now. It is completely off the tracks. I'm telling you, like, I get frustrated. As somebody who holds Bitcoin, I get frustrated. You know why? Because if this stuff continues, Ross, that means my asset that I believe in that could possibly change the world and the way we conduct business, they are literally going to make it obsolete. And they think it's funny. These are people that have only been here 2 to 3 years and they think it's fucking funny. That's not crazy. It's not. But you know why? Because the Eric Voorhees don't think that way.
No.
Okay? You ask any of the OGs, they don't believe in toxicity. They don't believe in ripping up the dollar in front of CNBC like Max Kaiser, okay, and calling everything else a shit coin. Like, they don't believe in that stuff.
Yeah. Max Kaiser's crazy.
If that's your representative for Bitcoin, man, God bless you.
Well, think about it. Bitcoin Cash, you got Roger Ver. He's highly intelligent. He's a nice guy, but he represents the brand terribly.
Well, hold on. Roger Ver did a lot of great stuff for Bitcoin.
He did.
He's just failed with Bitcoin Cash.
He's like a mascot that's on fire. Everyone's like, oh my goodness, stay away from him. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, same thing. Greg Wright, it's like, are you kidding me? He's worse. That's even worse.
People really do believe, though, Craig Wright is Satoshi.
I think those people fell down the stairs on their head.
So if he is Satoshi, why won't he move anything in his wallet?
It's such a crazy conversation. I don't even think it's worth talking about. It's so stupid.
No, but I'm saying, if you were Satoshi, right?
Yeah.
Would you not end the argument by going into the wallet and move 0.001?
Yeah, why not?
You win your argument. There's no argument.
Yeah,
I you know what? Honestly, I prefer it to where there is no Satoshi.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing that that Satoshi left.
Look at the projects that we may be involved in where they had anonymous teams and then they revealed themselves, and what happened to the projects.
Exactly.
The veil comes down from the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, and you're like, oh, it's different. It's very different. Anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been Late Night News presented by Gokhshtein Media. I'm Turd Ferguson, and this is Meme Coin Maxi.
And I am going to go play laser tag. because let the force.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.